There are people who live within the limits of the world, and then there are people who spend their lives trying to break those limits. Alexander the Great belonged to the second kind. He was not simply a king, a warrior, or a conqueror. He was a man possessed by an idea, the idea that a human life should be extraordinary. From childhood, Alexander was taught that greatness was not given, but earned. He grew up listening to stories of heroes like Achilles, men who chose glory over comfort and legacy over safety. While others dreamed of peaceful lives, Alexander dreamed of immortality. Not the immortality of gods, but the immortality of memory. He wanted his name to echo through history long after his body had returned to dust. This hunger became the force that shaped his entire life. It pushed him across deserts where others saw only death. It pushed him into battles where defeat seemed certain. It pushed him beyond every known border of the ancient world. To Alexander, every horizon was an invitation, every challenge a test, and every impossible dream a mountain waiting to be climbed. He believed that the greatest tragedy was not failure, but never discovering how far a person could go. Yet, Alexander's story is far more than a tale of conquest. Unlike many rulers, he did not merely want to rule the world. He wanted to understand it. Wherever he traveled, he searched for knowledge as eagerly as he searched for victory. He spoke with philosophers, listened to priests, learned from foreign cultures, and surrounded himself with scholars and scientists. The farther he traveled, the more he realized that wisdom was not owned by a single nation or people. In Persia, Egypt, and India, he encountered ideas, traditions, and individuals who challenged everything he had been taught. Slowly, he began to see humanity not as separate tribes divided by borders, but as part of a much larger story. He dreamed of a world where different cultures could learn from one another rather than destroy one another. It was a vision centuries ahead of its time. Yet Alexander himself remained a contradiction. He dreamed of unity, but often achieved it through war. He admired wisdom, yet sometimes surrendered to anger. He sought greatness, but struggled to find peace. The same fire that made him extraordinary also made him restless. Every victory only created a new desire. Every achievement revealed another horizon. He could conquer kingdoms, but he could not conquer the endless hunger within himself. Then life taught him a lesson that no battlefield ever could. His closest companion, Hephaestion, died unexpectedly, and the loss shattered him. In that moment, Alexander discovered the limit of power. He could command armies, overthrow empires, and change the course of history, but he could not save the person he loved. No amount of wealth could buy another day. No military genius could defeat death. For perhaps the first time in his life, Alexander stood helpless before a force greater than himself. It was a painful reminder that beneath the crown, beneath the legends, beneath the victories, he was still human. Only months later, Alexander himself died in Babylon at the age of 32. He left behind an empire stretching across continents, yet that empire eventually fractured and disappeared. The cities changed. The kingdoms vanished. Time erased much of what he built. But what survived was something far greater than territory. It was an idea. The idea that human beings should never allow fear, comfort, or convention to define the boundaries of their lives. Alexander's life asks a question that still echoes across centuries. What would you do if you truly believed your time was limited? Would you choose safety, or would you dare to become everything you were capable of becoming? Alexander chose the second path. It brought him glory, suffering, wonder, and tragedy. He never found complete peace, and perhaps he never expected to. But he spent every day reaching beyond what seemed possible. That is why, more than 2,000 years after his death, the world still remembers him. Not because he conquered the world, but because he spent his life refusing to be conquered by its limits.